Maintenant, que nous avons ajouté, il faut comprendre que nous
with the popular saying that blood is thicker than water. But for 1 in every 4 presumed fathers in Nigeria, the bloodlines seem to tell a different story. According to a report by Smart DNA Nigeria, 25% of paternity tests conducted between July 2024 and June 2025 excluded the presumed father. There is a slight drop from 27% in previous year, but still points to a deepening paternity crisis, as at least 1 in 4 tests come back with such results.
This is an issue that was not there about 20, 30 years ago, because I believe civilization was much more innocent then, and then there was trust issue, and then there was morality. But DNA has become necessary today because of the moral decadence.
The report also pointed out that Nigerians of Yoruba extraction dominated at 53%, followed by Igbo at 31.3%, while Hausa accounted for just 1.2%. For some, the maintained DNA is necessary only when the need arises or when suspicion is on the high side.
Personally, if you ask me that will I do that, I have no reason to do that myself. You may not have married someone you have doubt about. Doubt may come in after the marriage. Do you understand me now? So if it happens like that, then you may want to resort into doing what you think you can do to verify or confirm if the children you are catering for are yours.
Speaking with other respondents, they said it is not just suspicion driving the surge. The Japa wave has played its part, as immigration-related DNA tests rose by 13.1% when families seek verification for citizenship and relocation.
As far as I'm concerned, I don't see the reason why one should insist on having a DNA. That's on the part of the husband, if there are not some hidden issues. But if there are some hidden issues, why not? To be sure that you are not taking care of somebody else's children. Women should try as much as possible to stay clean.
A councillor
in the African nation of Nigeria, millions of Christians are persecuted by Islamic terror groups. The Nigerian government is doing very little to stop the attacks. Well, now religious freedom advocates, including one member of the U.S. Congress, are taking action. CBN's Kelly Wright has this look at the crisis.
On this very day, 210 persons were slaughtered in one night, in less than 24 hours.
The video from the Father's Day massacre includes graphic images of people being burned alive, families attacked, and homes destroyed in Yelawata, Nigeria.
That very day, it was raining, so Fulani herdsmen, they invaded the community and claimed so many lives.
Around 12 midnight, we started having calls from Yelawata that the Fulanis have come and they are killing, burning.
Friday night, I was leaving my house. See my house there. I come here, they shoot gun. Later, they come, they break this house. Where my brother is sleeping here with his children.
This evening to an ABC News exclusive. Our team traveling to Africa, tracking the terror threat, the jihadi group Boko Haram. Hundreds of girls still missing, abducted by the group. And the children who have escaped are now revealing a portrait of the horror. Some children turned into suicide bombers, having no idea they were carrying bombs. Nightline anchor Juju Chang takes us overseas to meet the children.
We're traveling to the danger zone with U.S. Ambassador to the UN, Samantha Power. It's been 2 years since Boko Haram kidnapped nearly 300 schoolgirls, 219 of them still missing. The terror group now using kidnapped children as weapons in their war, turning them into suicide bombers. 1 in 5 suicide attacks in the last year there was carried out by a child. They tell us some of those children are drugged.
Many of them don't even know what they are carrying.
Some that I know are already dropped.
These children escaped the horror, carried through the forest on a days-long trek. This 14-year-old girl told Ambassador Power she still fears for her life. For the children here, going to school, an act of defiance.
We're told those child suicide bombers are either coerced or detonated remotely or brainwashed into thinking that this is a direct path to God. So the double tragedy is that when the children are rescued, they're sometimes seen not as innocent victims, David, but as a potential security threat.
Just incredible. Brainwashed and drugged, as you report.
Exactly.
With what, an opioid or?
An opioid called Trimanol.
I know you're going to follow this journey tonight on Nightline. Incredible reporting, Juju. And again, it's tonight on Nightline, a special edition. Much more of Juju's reporting from Africa later tonight. We'll see you then.
I find this very interesting and decide to share with you guys. Meet Nigerian politicians with 4th degrees honors from foreign universities. If you know Nigeria very well, you know that they like foreign degrees. As soon as you come into the country with foreign degree, your respect will be tripled. They don't even bother to check if the degree is real or fake. And some of these politicians, they've been using it to get into the political realm and manipulate people into believing that they know what they're doing. Hi guys, you're watching Chiki series. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for your support. I quite appreciate that. It's good to have you around again. And if you're new to this channel, thank you for clicking on this video. Make yourself comfortable as we get right into this video, and also hit that subscribe button and turn your notification bell on. That way you get our latest updates. So, claiming of honor.
Recently, the Somalian government passed a bill to prohibit the marriage of children under the age of 18 after years and years of pressure from the United Nations and other Western countries. Okay, the Somalian government finally caved in and decided to introduce a bill that would criminalize the marriage of children and also give Somalian citizens the right to freedom of religion. But something happened. Something happened. Barely 24 hours after the introduction of this bill, the Somalian people lost their minds, okay? They could not comprehend the idea of criminalizing 80-year-old men from marrying 9-year-old children. It was a taboo for the government to say that grandpas should not have any intercourse with minors who are not even old enough to be their great-granddaughters. So they took to the streets in protest, demanding that the bill should be rejected and overthrown. And to my greatest lack of surprise, it was overthrown.
Soomaaliya waxay u ahayd maalin mugdiya, maalin madow ah. Shalay baarlamaankii wuxuu u soo saaray ama uu go'aan ku gaaray wax la aqbali kara ma aha. Annaga muslim baan nahay, boqolkiiba muslim baan nahay. Soomaali Ilaahay ha laga cabsado. Arrintan arrinka hortag u baahan waaye. Aabay culimadeena Soomaaliyeed, aabay culimadeena Soomaaliyeed. وارث الأنبياء باتهين إذن كان هذا المقلنا محل دعي محل لوجو أمسني هاي أرنتان أوي الشيخ سمو أوي من نولميا أوي الشيخ شاكر من نولميا وراوي علم ذي إلهي إنك عبسن ورا إلهي إنك عبسن إلهي والله بن الشيخ محمد معلن أبشر أبي الشيخ نور على جمعة عليه أبي ورا إلهي إنك عبسن الشيخ عبد الرزاق أشعري أبي ورا إلهي إنك عبسن ورإلهي أنك عبسن أرنتان أرن لا أقبل كرمه تتكون وانا الرقايان إلهي أنك عبسن ورإلهي أنك عبسن إلهي أنك عبسن أرمهان لغا هرتو أرمى لا أقبل كرمه سديت يتمن سنة قالي وقرنت هاي عرورت هذا كوخان قاران أنا إنا كرة عن معها نبي صلى الله عليه وسلم خالف المشركين بونفري إن المشركين خلافنا لا فري إلهي أنك عبسن ورإلهي أنك عبسن
This old man is literally crying because men as old as him and even those older than him are told by this Somalian bill that they can no longer abuse little female children. They are setting up cameras and weeping, calling on fellow Islamic scholars and sheikhs to demand that this bill be turned down. He directly cited the Quran, explaining that it is an Islamic law to marry female children once they mature. And for them, that maturity can be as early as 8 or 9 years.
The Nigerian government has fired civil servants with fake degree from private institutions in Benin Republic and Togo. after uncovering over 2,500 phoneless certificates. The government banned accreditation of this degree. Former Education Minister Taha Mama and this certificate, obtained through racketeering, harm Nigerian image. Ministries and agencies, including the NYSC, has begun enforcing these directives. The next number of affected workers remain unknown.
My youngest child was barely 2 years old when I started bleaching him, and the scars have started showing on his skin.
This Nigerian mother used skin lightening creams on all 6 of her children, which she says burnt their skin. We are concealing her identity for their privacy.
When my daughter was mistaken for a drug addict because of the bleaching, it made me extremely sad.
She says she did it because of pressure from her own mother.
When I visit my mother, she shows more love to her other light-skinned grandchildren. But when I got the bleaching cream and started using it on them, they became lighter, and then she started bringing them closer to her.
Her story is part of a growing trend in Africa, says medical aesthetician and campaigner Zainab Bashir Ya'u.
So a lot of people link light skin to beauty or wealth. Women tend to shield, as they call it, shield their children from that discrimination by bleaching them from childbirth. Some of these women even go to the extent of taking injections while they are pregnant, just so they can give birth to lighter skinned children.
Long-term use of skin lightening products can have serious consequences.
They can have severe rashes all over their bodies. We've also had cases of, first-degree burn. It can also affect their kidney, which we call the nephrotic syndrome.
Common bleaching ingredients include steroids, mercury, hydroquinone, and kojic acid. Many of these are banned or tightly regulated by Nigeria's Food and Drug Regulator, NAFDAC, especially in children's products. NAFDAC says Kano and Lagos states are major hotspots for bleaching.
Despite tight regulations, these bleaching creams are still easily accessible. For example, in this supermarket in Kano State, when I picked up one of the creams that says baby bleaching cream, I noticed that many of the ingredients here are illegal substances.
I met one mother in the market buying bleaching creams for her kids, despite her own hands being discolored by them.
Parents used to come and buy their babies' creams that will make them look radiant, shiny, and glow.
Many shopkeepers here, who were not identified for their safety, mixed their own creams from raw ingredients. It wasn't clear how precisely they were measuring the bleaching chemicals.
We decide the percentage depending on what the customers want. Some want full tablespoon, then sometimes we use baby teaspoon.
Some sellers I spoke to admitted they were not aware of all the NAFDAC rules.
Kojic acid,
NAFDAC has regulated the use of kojic acid. You can now only use a certain percentage. Did you know that?
No, I didn't. But now that you've told me about it, now I know.
I asked NAFDAC what it's doing to educate sellers.
We have done our own sensitization. Many of them, all those people from the market, this one, they came. And they asked questions. I was there. And I also made a presentation to them on the dangers of all these things.
Why isn't NAFDAC doing enough since sensitization is clearly not working?
Our officers are already gathering intelligence. Once we are ready to strike, we will strike.
With so many producers and such high demand, the challenges are vast.
What happened to me is why I want to advise other people not to follow this route. They will regret it. You need to accept how God created you.
For this message to be heard, it needs to break through deeply entrenched views on skin color. Until it does, the health of many children may yet be put at risk. Madina Meshanu, BBC News, Kano State, Nigeria.
No, I live on a continent of Africa, and what you will see is skin lightening or skin bleaching. I've even had people on my podcast who have very beautiful dark skin as a guest, and now you see them on TikTok and they look as white as I don't know what. I don't want to mention any names and get in any trouble, but if you want to go and look at our podcast playlist, you can.
Nigerians living in Ghana are calling on the relevant authorities to wade into their situation and end the unpleasant experiences they face in foreign land. They say efforts by both governments and other stakeholders to end the hostility meted out to Nigerians living and doing businesses in Ghana is not yielding much. In 2019, the demolition of the Nigerian mission in Ghana led to a dispute that was diplomatically handled. Mid last year, in the midst of the raging pandemic, Ghana came up with a policy for foreign traders that affected more Nigerians than any other country, with threats from the Nigerian government. Shops of Nigerian traders that were locked were reopened. Recently, another video has surfaced of Nigerians being arrested and kept in an unwholesome camp, with reasons for the arrest yet to be made known. These happenings raise questions about how much respect is given ECOWAS treaties that are supposed to be binding on Nigeria, Ghana, and 13 other West African countries. While it was one of the countries that prevailed on Nigeria to reopen its land borders, Ghana's borders to Burkina Faso, Togo, and other neighboring countries remained short. This flouts the ECOWAS protocol on free movement of persons, goods, and devices across the region. And TVC News is working to get details of the over 500 Nigerians arrested and detained in a camp, as the Ghanaian High Commission in Abuja and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs are yet to respond to our inquiries.
Now let's shift our focus to Africa, where a scandal has sent the Nigerian government scrambling. The scandal is over fake college degrees from foreign countries. They're apparently being home delivered like pizza. An investigative report came out last week. A Nigerian reporter got his hands on a degree from neighboring Benin. He received a 4-year undergraduate degree after waiting for just 6 weeks. The report has caused an uproar in Nigeria, and the government is now taking action. On Tuesday, it banned degrees from Benin and Togo. Yesterday, Nigeria announced it would ban degrees from Kenya, Uganda, and Niger as well. And it's not likely to stop there. Here's our report.
The Nigerian government is in damage control mode. A new report has put them on the back foot. The investigative journalism report has brought an insidious problem to light: the proliferation of fake foreign college degrees.
Undercover investigation by the Daily Nigerian newspaper blew the lid off a black market of fraudulent qualification from foreign degree mills. It exposed the shady institutions that have been selling degrees like candies. The investigation revealed how their reporter obtained a 4-year degree from a Benin university in less than 2 months. I mean, this deal is better than American students paying Kenyan students to write their papers. Anyways, Nigeria is now cracking down on this scam and has suspended the accreditation of degree from Benin, Togo, Uganda, Kenya, and Niger. The education minister said the students involved were not victims, but accomplices in the criminal chain that should be arrested. You see, there are 99 days for thieves and 1 day for owners, but that 1 day can destroy the 99 days when caught. Don't rush it.
Wait, Nini?
Soldiers have been accused of committing heinous crimes in Kenya, and they have not been held accountable. Not for starting fire and burning down a whole forest and wildlife being affected, the locals being affected. Not that. Not when they were accused of unaliving a civilian. We've talked about that before. And not for raping women, local women, Kenyans that were unsuspecting. And another crime is that even though they claim that it was consensual, creating babies, they will have babies with the locals and leave and will never disclose that information with their family back home. They will deny that that's their child. But the thing is, DNA never lies. Even if you don't go and get DNA, you look at the kids and you know that they're half white. And as you know, Kenya is a country full of black people. Majority of the population is black. So when these women around that military base are getting pregnant and giving birth, and you can clearly see that they are not fully black, how do you explain that you're not the father when in fact you are? So they don't take accountability, they don't help out with raising the kids, they completely cut off the mother and the kids, and they just unbothered in their own country. This is huge. They need to be held accountable, and our governments need to protect the locals. These people are creating broken homes. How are they not being held accountable? And mind you, not all of those relationships or those babies that were created were from a consensual relationship. Some of the mothers report that they have not given consent and it happened to them. That's a crime that they're committing on a foreign land, but they're not being held accountable. But guess what? Things might start to change because, according to reports, the High Court in the UK has...
There is no secure access to enter this rural South African town, similar to so many others. But very quickly, the uniqueness of Orania is obvious. Here, everyone is white. Nestled in the Karoo, a semi-desert area lost in the middle of the country, its population of 2,500 Afrikaners are descendants of Dutch and French Huguenots who arrived in the 17th century. Here, people say they are not racist, they only want to live amongst themselves.
What we experience is a lot of de facto recognition. You go your way, you do your thing, we're not trying to block it or to frustrate it.
The small town prides itself on having broken with colonial labor practices, which consisted of using cheap black labor for all the hard or menial work. Meanwhile, on a daily basis, its inhabitants live in a parallel reality where black South Africans do not exist, or at least are invisible.
Recently, in the past, say 10 years, 7 years roundabout, our population growth started snowballing. We had growth as fast as 10% annually for the past 7 years, of which the past 2-3 years were between 14 and almost 17% annual population growth.
The 8,000-hectare site on the Orange River, where Orania was founded, was bought by the son-in-law of Andrew.
So again, guys, we uncovered state money was sent to a group even after a board member was charged with fraud. It was once a darling nonprofit, all in the name of keeping Somali kids on the right path.
So again, y'all, my theory and the idea of minority groups, that even when you see these red flags, now there are certain officials who feel like it would be easier to and more politically convenient to allow the people of those groups to continue with the stealing.
He's got a huge coalition of Jewish voters that are supporting him. He's got a huge coalition of Muslims of every sect. He's got a huge coalition of young people who are supporting him.
And we're back, y'all. Thank you for watching today. Go ahead and hit that like button, my people. You know that helps us out a ton. And of course, it helps you because it helps us keep bringing you these stories every day. Now, y'all, you know that we've done a number of Minnesota fraud stories. And sadly, there's a totally new fraud that has been reported in the state of Minnesota. And this time it has to do with Somali youth centers or something like that. You're about to see that. About keeping the Somali youth off the streets, y'all. Millions and millions and millions of dollars defrauded from the state in the name of helping Somali youths. And it's quite sad. And so we're going to take a look at that. And also we're going to take a look at your boy, Omar